So you started a blog or a website, but your page views are not that impressive. Hi there, my name is Shruti and I am a multiple six-figure blogger and YouTuber. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down what could potentially be going wrong and how to fix low page views for your blog. When you're struggling with your page views or even your traffic, there's usually one of four things going wrong. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through all of those four things and tell you exactly how you can pinpoint what's going wrong and to see how you can improve that so that you can grow your traffic with ease. So the number one thing to look at, specifically when you are a beginner blogger and you haven't been in the industry for a while and you're relatively new to creating blog posts, is your content. So the first thing we're going to do is to do a content audit. Now, simply put, this is an audit of going into your analytics and checking out what are the types of blog posts that are doing well and what are not doing so well. Usually when you're starting out, you are in a hurry to create a lot of blog posts and you're just creating, but you're not spending any time looking at the data and trying to figure out what's happening at the back end of your blog. So here's where you're going to use our friendly tool, Google Analytics. This is a free tool, and if you haven't already set that up, I would highly recommend to go and get Google Analytics on your blog. Now, once you set up Google Analytics, on the left side of your dashboard, you are going to have access to a tab called behavior, and within behavior you're going to look at site content, and within site content you're going to click on all pages. Now essentially all pages simply means what are the URLs or the blog posts that people are landing on your page on. So what are the pages that are getting the most traffic? The reason why we do this content audit is to identify what are the main content pillars of your blog and or what are the blog posts that are driving the most attention, engagement and clicks to your blog. So here's where you're going to sit down and write down the top 3 to 5 blog posts that are doing the best. Figure out what categories those blog posts perform to. So let's say you have a travel blog and you realize while doing this activity that the majority of your posts are actually from a certain country, then you can create more content on that country because you see that your audience is quite interested in that type of post. Now, of course, this is a really simple example. This is going to differ from blog to blog and website to website, which is why I would highly recommend looking into your behavior, content, and all your pages to figure out the top 5 pieces of content so that you can use that to make future decisions about what content to create on your blog. All right, now that we figured out what type of content is doing well on your blog and what type of content is not doing well on your blog, the next thing to do is to figure out where are people coming from. So where is your traffic right now coming from? And this is also called doing a traffic audit. Now, thanks to tools like Google Analytics, you can actually look into the analytics and figure out where are people coming from so that you can spend more time, energy, and strategy behind that particular channel. So all you have to do is to head into Google Analytics, and once you're there, head into acquisition, and once you're in acquisition, head to all traffic and then to referrals. So this is going to share with you exactly what websites are sending the most traffic. So if you see, for example, that the top 3 websites sending you traffic are, let's say, Pinterest, Google, and YouTube, then you know that this is where your audience is at and this is where you need to double down and put more effort. If, for example, you see that the majority of your traffic is coming from Pinterest, then you know that if you put a little bit more effort into marketing on Pinterest, you could get more traffic. And you also have the chance here to kind of balance out your traffic by building new traffic streams. Okay, so once we've addressed the content as well as the traffic, we now know exactly what content is performing well and what's not doing so well. And we also know where your traffic is coming from. The third thing left to analyze is your website. So at this stage, we're going to do a website audit and really look at a couple of different things to see if everything's working as it should. The number one thing that you should check with your website is your website speed. Now, there are tons of free tools like GD Metrics, Google Page Speed Insights, as well as Pingdom that you can use to check your page speed. But what you can also do is to simply look at your website in different electronic devices. So you can look at your website on a computer, you can look at your website from your phone, from your tablet, and make sure to do this in an incognito browser so that you can actually see the real speed of how long it takes to load a page on your website. The reason why I'm talking about website speed is because specifically for Google as well as for other platforms sending you traffic, website speed plays a huge role in how much traffic your site gets. So the slower your site is, the less traffic your site is going to get from Google as well as other search engines. Now, another couple of things that you can look at when you're doing your website audit is to make sure that your site theme as well as your site plugins are all playing along well and none of them are causing any performance issues. So you want to be making sure that you have a fast loading theme depending on whatever platform it is that you use. And I have a video here on my channel about what's the best platform to use on your blog, so feel free to check that out after. But depending on the platform that you're using, you do need to make sure that you have the fastest possible theme so that it can load your pages really quickly and basically allow people to have access to the information really quickly so that more traffic can be sent your way from Google. And not only this, you also want to double check all of the plugins on your blog to see if any of them are causing any issues or any of them are taking up too much space. In general, the lower plugins that you have in terms of the amount of total plugins, the faster your website is going to be. So if you have like 100 useless plugins that you have downloaded on your website, they're just going to make your website slower. So make sure to do an audit of your plugins, your theme, as well as your website speed to make sure that everything on the tech end is running well and is doing what it's supposed to do. Okay, now that we've done a content, traffic, as well as a website audit, the fourth and final piece of the puzzle is an industry audit. So this is where you're going to look at a couple of things to understand whether or not you are aligned with what the industry expects from your particular niche or your particular audience. Now here's where we're going to dive deep into these three things. Number one, we're going to look into the competitors that you have and what is the type of content they're producing. You want to be looking at their website not from an aesthetic point of view, but to actually see what it is that they're doing that you could incorporate in your blog to make sure that you are growing your traffic as well as your audience. The second thing you want to be looking at is your keywords. Now there's so many free keyword research tools out there, but one of my favorites is looking into Google Search Console. Now, just like Google Analytics, Google Search Console is also a free tool. And if you haven't set that up, run, don't walk, get it ASAP. Why? Because it's going to give you access to so much information on what's working on your blog and what's not working on your blog. Not only this, it's even going to give you access to related keyword ideas that people are looking for when they show up at your blog so that in future you can create more content along those lines. Now, when you want to combine competitor research along with the keywords that you're using, maybe you want to see what are the keywords that your competitors are using that are bringing them all that traffic. So here's where more advanced keyword research tools come into place. One of my favorites is Key Search, but we also have Ahrefs and so many others that you can use to do this research and figure out what it is that your competition is doing better than you so that you can potentially compete for the same audience and the same keywords in your niche. And the third and super important thing that a lot of people ignore is the trends in your industry. Now, what is going on in your industry that you can kind of hop on and leverage that to get momentum as well as get more traffic from your audience. One of my favorite places to check this out is Pinterest trends, hands down. If you're in the US, UK, Canada, and pretty much in most parts of the world, you should have access to this tool and you can find it at trends.pinterest.com. You simply have to put in the keywords of your particular niche and look at what are the top trends in that particular niche. Are there any trends that you could cover in your blog post to get more traffic? Now, if you're using Pinterest to drive traffic, then trends are huge on Pinterest, specifically in the time that we're in right now, which is towards the end of the year. We have holidays coming up, we have Black Friday, and so many other events that are going on. And in general, this tends to be a time when a lot of people are actively shopping online. So make sure to always look at the trends in your industry and incorporate that into your content. So that brings me to the end of this video. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already. Let me know in the comments what you'd like me to cover next so that I can create a video which will help you grow your blog and your income even more. As always, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.